It's Daybreak on Arise News, and it's time for the press review. A first look at what's on the front pages as they arrive and analysis of what they're saying. Well, let's begin, as usual, with our sister publication, the newspaper of records, This Day newspaper. Well, it's leading with the tributes that continue to pour in for Bola Ajibola, who died at the age of 89. He was buried in Abeokuta. Bola Ajibola is Nigeria's former Attorney General. Well, Buhari, Obasanjo, IBB, Tinubu, Osinbajo, Atiku, Lawan, Abiodun, Sanwo-Olu, others more pay last respect. Well, I appointed him AGF against position of people who described him as controversial, says ex-military leader. Reveals the deceased didn't receive salary throughout his service to fatherland. And of course, the pictures there, including the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, yesterday. Under the nameplate there, you have, at Easter, Nigerian leaders advocate love among people. Osinbajo, CJN, Khan, Obaseki, others urge reciprocity in Christ-like values. There's so many stories on the front page. Above the masthead this morning, Tom, we will not be provoked into taking up arms against anyone. That's the governor of Benue State, where we're seeing some gruesome and disturbing killings in recent times. Atiku condemns Benue Zamfara killings, urges federal government to protect citizens. Police confirm escalation of banditry in Sokoto. Informants sabotaging our efforts, military officials hint. With 89 expected assets, Nigeria to top Africa's upcoming oil gas project by 2027. You can pick a copy of our sister publication this morning to get details of all of the stories and more.
All right, let's look at the Guardian newspaper. The Guardian, on its front page, it says UK revises foreign health, workers recruitment, returns Nigeria to red list countries. This is found on page 3. It has some riders there. It said outrage over bill mandating 5-year pre-licensing practice for Nigerian trained doctors. Bill poorly researched, reels out inaccurate figures. FG's brain drain committee report not implemented, group inactive for months. If bill becomes law, government officials should also stop medical tourism. This is coming from Tomori there. Let's see what Kuka is saying. Kuka tasks Nigerians and next government on nation building. For now, the most urgent mission is to start a psychological journey of making Nigerians feel whole again, of creating a large tent of opportunity and hope for us all. Then just below that, in that if you like, move a color, APC may zone Senate presidency to Southeast. And then how Agbero, multiple dues, spike transportation cost by 25% in Lagos. And of course, the jury Ajibola, juries for the ages.
Very quickly, let's look at some other local papers here in Nigeria. Shall we have the Punch? Yes. It's leading with marketers seeking CBN loans for 30,000 gas stations. And well, front pages there, of course, Nigerians join Faithful globally to mark Easter Sunday. Bishop demands justice for 41 Owo attack victims in church. As church reopens, yes, that church reopened yesterday after 10 months. And bandit/ransom for 85 Zamfara abductees. That's an update from the abduction from the school in Zamfara. This and many more on the front page of the Punch newspaper.
All right, let's look at Tribune now. It says NAS presiding officers, APC governors may open talks with aspirants. And then Kuka to Buhari, I don't know whether you are fulfilled as president. Of course, the story of Prince Bola Ajibola, their traffic chaos looms as trucks besiege Lekki port for cargoes. That's in Lagos, of course. That's for the Tribune.
What do we have next? Let's see, The Sun, the Daily Sun, of course, leading with what Kuka has to say to Nigeria's apex court, the Supreme Court. Simply put, don't disappoint Nigerians. Tasks Buhari, Tinubu on unity, corruption. You have fought a good fight. Keep dreams alive. Priest urges Nigerians. Of course, the message is the Sunday. Oshibajo, CJN, Kalu, governors, Umba, others also preach unity, love, hope, sacrifice during this period. A day of blood, sorrow in Lagos, Enugu. You can find details of this in the Daily Sun.
And then the foreign papers, Daily Express, millions demand keep our banks open.
Daily Time, the Times, yeah. Labour will blame Prime Minister for crashing economy.
Financial Times, global economy dodges big slowdown as growth outlook outpaces forecasts.
Well, the Daily Telegraph is leading with GPs scrapping services to cope with strikes, of course, as junior doctors stage walkout.
And the Independent is here a picture of the King, Charles III, and the wife Camilla. Hero pilot must be a special case. That's for the Independent. All right, now we'll bring in Emmanuel Bello. This morning, Emmanuel, happy Easter to you.
Happy
Christians
Easter,
are still celebrating the resurrection
Still the holiday
of
season.
Jesus Christ. All right, let's look at what the papers are saying, and as usual, we'll begin with our sister publication, This Day newspaper, that has on its front page tributes pouring as Bola Ajibola, 89, is buried in Abeokuta. It had some riders there: Buhari, Obasanjo, IBB, Tinubu, Oshibajo, Atiku, Lawan, Abiodun, Sanwo-Olu. Others paid last respect to him. Appointed him AGF against position of people who described him as controversial. All right, well, let's look at some other stories there before we get you in. It says at Easter, Nigerian leaders advocate love among people. And Faleke on rotation of governorship, it's turn of Kogi's West for fairness and justice. That is on the front page of this day. So, Emmanuel, what's your take on any of the stories? Ajibola, Easter message, and what Faleke say?
Yes, the Easter message is running through, I think, practically all the newspaper. It's to be expected that today there will be a lot of angles, a lot of reports, because so many people have said so many things. But a lot of tributes too. The passing of the juries, very strong legal luminary who passed on, and some of the things that they have to say. I like what former President Babangida said, that look, he appointed him because it gives you an insight into how Babangida actually recruited his men back in the day, a little bit of history there. So you don't have somebody who is passing away at 89 without having a bit of the histories and some of the biographical sketches that, of that period. So one of the things that came out strongly is the issue of how Babangida actually recruited him, and he said he was told that the late jurist will be very stubborn, and he said, well, I want him for that. I think that's a bit very profound, an insight also into how Babangida ran his government back then, and it brings up a lot of history too, of the international diplomacy and all that. So a lot of people had to say beautiful things. Osibanjo say it's like the first son of the man and all of that. So well, yeah, his tributes are appearing. I think it's a celebration of life rather than the mourning that is being reported. I mean, he's lived a great life, and of course it's a huge loss, and we can only say may his soul rest in perfect peace, And yes, those tributes also are insight into what people think of him. I'm sure we've not had the last of the tributes. And of course, the Eastern messages they keep coming in. Kuka's own seem to be very strong, a very strong message. It is Kuka's style, and he was very, very clear about, talking to the last administration and all. I mean, the administration that is passing out. And of course, the incoming administration setting the agenda, talking about the fact that we need greater unity and greater investment in infrastructure. And also, that point where he actually asks the president if the president feels fulfilled. This is not the first time he asked that question, pricking the conscience of the president. Maybe he wants to get the president to a point where the president will apologize to Nigerians, like some governors are already doing around the states, saying they are sorry. Or Tom the other say he's sorry. The governor of Taraba State, Darius Shapu, said he apologized too. He says sorry for whatever he's done in government. So maybe that's where Kuka wants to push the president to actually come out clean to the Nigerian people and say, look, I've not done very well. But I think the jury is out there. A lot of people thinking that, Buhari is not buying out in a blaze of glory. And the recent attacks, almost like a send forth or send off package for him, with all sorts of attacks across the countries from Zamfara to Benue State, seem to have, it's actually, pointing to the weaknesses of his, whatever he's done in the area of security. These are things that a lot of, the president himself has said will be a thing of the past before he leaves office. But even in the twilight of his administration, we're still seeing those horrendous attacks that practically characterize his administration. So yes, that's why I think Kuka is asking him, do you feel fulfilled? Do you think you are going back, with a halo on your head, or you think that you are buying height in shame? Those are questions that I'm sure Buhari would like to answer in the course of time.
Indeed. Let's turn to the Guardian, Emmanuel. And very quickly, these two stories I wanted to touch on are generating reactions. They will continue to generate reactions. First is the boldest one on the front page of the Guardian this morning on health. UK revises foreign health workers recruitment, returns Nigeria to red list countries. This is coming as in country we have lawmakers who are trying to set laws that will prevent Nigerian medical professionals and doctors from leaving the country if they do not have the 5-year, pre-registered document or some sort. You need to look at the story. License, indeed. Thank you very much. And the other story, on the other hand, is the one in the red strip. APC may zone Senate presidency to Southeast. Now, this has been very controversial. The governing party, for the first time, we are having a 10th National Assembly that is very colorful. The other day, you talked about the opposition parties coming strong, trying to form a formidable front to upstage the APC, according to them. But how is the APC going to go through this zoning? Are they going to jettison it? Do you expect that it will go to the Southeast? What do we know? What are you hearing?
Well, I think the APC is interested in the zoning thing. Like someone said, they are trying to balance the deficit that their ticket has brought upon them. The Muslim ticket. So a lot of people believe that the only way APC can just get some kind of acceptability among the people is to balance the remaining tickets. The Senate presidency, for instance, strongly believe that, look, it has to be zoned to the South East. And I think APC is seriously thinking that. And not just, and already we have big names coming out, from the woods on the issue of the Southeast presidency. Oju's Okalu, for instance, has been strongly talking about the fact that he will play that role better than anyone. He's going to be 63 soon. He's been governor of his state, and and has been in the in the Senate for quite a while. And he's saying not just zone this to the Southeast. So that's why we're seeing a situation where the party is not talking about just zoning it to a place, but some people are even saying zone it to me. So yes, the issue of zoning is going to be very strong. Ojo Okalu is one big name out there already. There are other names too, but he stands out and he keeps campaigning. He keeps saying, look, I was the biggest voice for the APC in the Southeast. it doesn't get bigger than me when it comes to APC. I preach more APC. When APC was, an anathema, so to speak, among the Southeasterners, I was there talking about the party. So zoning to me, it was his own Emil Locon kind of moment, saying that, look, this should be zoned to him, not just to the Southeast, but to him. So APC, we have to do a lot of that. They have to find a way, very fine way, because this gang up by the opposition, we have to force APC to consider not just the zone that they are going to zone this, but the individuals, because at the end of the day, it might just come back to the credibility and the CV of whoever they are zoning a particular position to. So, and Ujo Zakali is one person that is already campaigning so strongly for the position, saying that he has spent more time, working for the APC. He's an ally of the president. He understands the North. Those are some of the things he's saying about it. So yes, this is a very serious matter. And I think it's one that is going to, especially when we are when back from the holidays, the APC will have to consider that strongly. And just quickly, the other story is very interesting too, and it concerns all of us. The problem of the health sector, doctors, their scarcity, the fact that they have pull and push factors. The push factor, of course, is the fact that they are not getting what they should get in this country. The pull factor is the one that, of course, makes it very, very beneficial or profitable to practice elsewhere. I live with a doctor myself. My partner is a doctor, and I understand the pains and the crisis of the issue around medicine and their practice, and the fact that they are always tempted to leave, if not for some kind of consideration. Many of them will be leaving. And now with the UK actually even blacklisting us, putting us on the red list of countries that cannot just practice in the UK, it makes it more interesting for us to look inwards to see how we're going to make our doctors stay. So the whole idea this way is to make sure that those 5-year thing that you can't practice unless you have, you can't get a license unless you have practiced 5 years, is a way of keeping doctors here. But there are better ways. If you want to keep doctors here, you have to create the condition, the pull factor, keep them here, that will make them, find it very conducive. Most of the doctors are actually leaving because of the issues of welfare, the issues of the fact that they can't practice very well here. If you sort that out, you keep the doctors here, you cut down medical tourism, and the health sector will begin to breathe better.
To live there. All right, thank you so much, Emmanuel, there. That's the press preview. Let's hear your view on all the burning issues. Follow us on Twitter at Arise TV. You can join today's conversation using the hashtag AriseTV.